New Harry Potter movie. New Harry Potter with J.K. Rowling? Seriously? Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, guys. This is the live news show for movie fans, where we go talk about all the big trending movie news headlines of the day. Guys, this is kind of like the extra credit show for you guys out there who watch the movie news digest that's going to start airing before this show. And what's going to happen is that if you guys want to come on and talk live with me about these topics, this will be your opportunity. Because, well, hey, you know what? I do like to live stream. And aside from putting together the digest, which I think is going to be a little bit more quicker for people to get through, this will just allow people to interact with me. And with that being said, what's in today's show? What's going on? Andy Serkis has a couple of headlines. Agatha, Coven of Chaos has some more casting news. A new Godzilla movie. Cool, man. Harry Potter, though, guys. We're going to be talking about that. But we start off today's show by talking about Selena Gomez. Her movie, My Mind and Me, opens up today. And it's going to be on Apple TV+. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I wish I had access to Apple TV+, but I don't have it. And I saw the trailers for this. I was a huge fan of Selena Gomez. I think she's a talented artist, not only in the singing genre, but as well as, well, acting. I think she's a really good actress, too. But this documentary is kind of a look behind the scenes of her struggles with her mental health and her physical health. Her talking about when she was younger and being told that she's got to be an actress and stuff like that, her singing career, and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like she's bearing it all, right? And I think that's very inspirational. You know, she's very candid in this, like very candid, right? So I'm looking forward to this, and it's going to be on Apple TV+, guys. My Mind and Me, and the early reactions to it have been fairly positive. Just looking at some of her quotes there, saying that I would consider myself the luckiest girl if I could just help one person. Yeah, just one person. And I agree with that. That's why you would do something like this, because you want to help people, right? People who are possibly going through the same kinds of struggles. And she says, I really was talking about my body and I was judging myself, and the whole thing was really confusing and sad. This project is so honest. She added that she's watched a few different scenes, but I don't think I could ever watch it again, to be honest. Okay, yeah. So it was painful for her to recount these events. And let's just go over and see if there's a tomato meter score for this. Let's do that. 100% with only 10 reviews. But guys, it's a biography, documentary kind of thing. I'm a Selena Gomez fan, for sure. And let's just take a look at some of the snapshot reviews. If it's 100%, there's no bad ones here. So from the Wall Street Journal, as it is, the worthwhile Selena Gomez, My Mind and Me explains much about the star, the culture, and maybe the moment. The moment, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, the moment. Interesting. Take a look at this. Fresh Fiction says, this cinematic testimony provides hope by spotlighting its heroine's search for honesty and humanity. Okay, this one looks a little bit more interesting. Next Best Picture says, this isn't a PR stunt to win brownie points or an Instagram post for sympathy. It's a true calling for a woman who has battled hell and back and is set on doing good in the world, and that is rare to find. Good. So it sounds like that message of hope is resonating, and that's cool. Selena Gomez, guys, right there. That's cool in my books. That is. Let's get to the story that everybody wants to talk about. The Harry Potter. Is there going to be new Harry Potter? If you got enough money, I think so. David Zaslav is open to deal with J.K. Rowling on more Harry Potter content. Now, some people have misunderstood this, because David Zaslav has a quote here where he's talking about but we haven't had this in a while. So people were saying, well, we did have the Fantastic Beasts. Let's take a look at that quote here, guys, from Zaslav. This came in a meeting yesterday. It was a business meeting, phone call. Who cares about that? Anyway, we're going to have a real focus on franchises, Zaslav said. He's like the big CEO over there, guys, at WB and DC now. So, right? Zaslav said to a media analyst, ooh, different under Warner Bros. Discovery. Okay, so he says, we haven't had a Superman movie in 13 years. We haven't done a Harry Potter movie in 15 years. And people are just reading that and saying, well, we had Fantastic Beasts. We've had B versus S and Justice League. Those are sort of, not really, no. He wants, that the 10-year plan over there for Zaslav is in the DC universe is going to be around Superman. And we heard last week that Henry Cavill is on board for more Superman movies, but it's the Harry Potter one. We haven't had Harry Potter in 15 years. That's really ruffling the feathers because J.K. Rowling right now is not perceived that well in the public eye because of some of the statements she said about the LGBTQ community and stuff like that. Now, guys, I'm not going to go into detail about what she said. We know that Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson have come out and said that, they support that community and stuff like that. But people are allowed to say things, right? It may be dumb. You may not agree with them, but she created Harry Potter. And if they're open to working together again with her to make more content, why not? Now, that remains to be seen if it's actually going to be Harry Potter, because you would have to get Radcliffe and Watson. I think Watson said that she wants to retire, right? And I think Daniel Radcliffe said that he wouldn't want to revisit for another 20, 30 years. So it really depends. Could they recast Harry Potter? No, I don't think you get away with that. But the big elephant in the room is you're going to work with her because people have dragged her through the mud for some of her stances. Let me kind of reiterate here. Guys, I'm one of the most progressive people that you'll ever know out there. I believe that a lot of things should be legal that are still illegal. Hey, you do what you want to do. If you want to do that to your body, by all means, go put horns on your head for all as I am concerned. As long as what you're doing, you don't make me have to say that I have to do that too. And I think a lot of that issue is in stance because it comes down to infringing on other people's rights kind of thing, right? And it gets really murky when you start talking about kids and stuff like that. And that's where that went, right? But Zaslav would be open to working with her. And the way I look at it is, did she kill anybody? No. Did she make some statements that made a lot of people angry? Yeah. But she created something that a lot of people love too. And if you just keep it on that level, I can see that things still work. It could still work. You don't need to be canceled. The whole cancel thing is just kind of... It started in an honest place, it did. But then it just got construed by the extreme left side that it just lost all meaning and it's lost its relevance, right? For when somebody should actually be canceled. When you commit a crime, that's when you should be canceled. When you, But when you make a statement that makes people angry, not necessarily, guys. Should you lose a contract for that? Sure. Why not? Should you lose out on a money deal? Okay. But again, she's the one holding all the rights to it, guys. So if you want new Harry Potter, you got to go through her. And you got to kind of just have to look the other way. If you don't agree with her politics, just let it go, man. And just be thankful that, hey, Zaslav wants more Harry Potter. I think you could make that happen. Why not? Our Glass Viking says, so much lore still to be uncovered. It would be great if they could do more Harry Potter verse in the works. I think, though, Harry may have to be recast. Daniel doesn't keen at this moment. Yeah. They would have to recast him or just do another generation of kids, man. Just do the next generation. And then you could set up that moment 20 years down the line where And maybe Harry Potter would come back as like a teacher at Hogwarts or something. Just do a next generation. The next generation, yeah. That's what I would do for more Harry Potter, or at least in that universe, because I think Fantastic Beasts, it didn't work, guys. You got 3 of them at least. You got 3. It's just people just weren't watching it. Okay. More headlines out of that was from the DC Unified Approach headline here, from the Zaslav quote, because people wanted to know what's going on over there in the DC universe. And David Zaslav says James Gunn and Peter Safran's approach is unified creative approach. Okay? So things like Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman, the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, it's going to be fine. Those are already under the reins of people controlling that. So it's not going to be all broken up or anything like that, right? So I've spent a lot of time over the past few months with James and Peter, Zaslav said, in an investor's call. Stupid people. Anyway, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing from Washington, D.C. What the heck? Anyway, they have a powerful vision and blueprint that will drive a more unified creative approach that will enable us to realize the full value of one of the world's most iconic franchises. And I think he's talking about Superman there, right? Because you know that the 10-year plan is going to be around Superman. We got Henry Cavill back, and I get the impression that from this unified creative approach is that you got James Gunn driving that machine creatively, and he's going to be inclusive with all of the directors and creators, because you know that Cavill has come out and said that he wants input on this to make sure that people have a satisfying Superman experience, because Man of Steel just wasn't it for a lot of people. And there were aspects of it that I enjoyed. I find that I really enjoy a lot more of the Krypton stuff now than I did when I originally watched it. But come on, man. It was just... they tried to reinvent Superman, and you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that. Yeah. And if you tell me that he doesn't understand Superman, or that I don't understand Superman, hey, easy there, guys. Easy. Because he did try to reinvent the wheel with Superman, and he recreated the mythos of the background of his parents and stuff like that, and how he died and stuff like that. There's no denying that he did that. Snyder did, right? Sorry, I was getting a little speeded there. A little heated there. Yeah, sometimes when I think fast and I try to get words out properly, that happens. It's a live show. It's bound to happen. Can't cut those out. But Zaslav says that we're hard at work right now, after James Gunn has got his MCU duties, but that'll be done pretty soon. And then they go on to talk about the Blue Beetle and stuff like that, and how that was switched from an HBO project. This is an article up on Hollywood Reporter. Guys, I'm fully confident now in the DC projects, for sure. Christopher Lloyd is in the headlines again. Ooh. Well, what do you mean again, James? Christopher Lloyd teases very special surprise. Fuels Back to the Future reboot rumors. Cool. A cryptic tweet posted by Christopher Lloyd has many fans intrigued. What did he say? Well, he said this on his Twitter, it looks like. I can't say yet, but the future holds something very special for you. Stay tuned. It's got 45K. So people follow Christopher Lloyd. And of course, then, yeah, Back to the Future 4. Are we really getting Back to the Future 4? I would love to see one, but I would tell you this. It wouldn't be with Michael J. Fox in it. I think, if anything, you would have Doc Brown in it as a cameo, trying to set up maybe the next set of stories that he would tell, right? It wouldn't be about the McFly people at all. And you say, well, how could you do that? Is it really Back to the Future then? If it's a creative story, why not? It's all about the story, right? I would rather see that than a reboot, because these two are iconic characters. A lot of people have. The first one is still so charming, right? Despite that, his mother falls in love with him. It's still a fun film to watch. I still think that the door is open there for like somebody else, another scientist, a wannabe scientist, finding Doc Brown's notes and continuing his work on creating a time machine and just creating a whole new adventure. Why can't you do that? And Doc Brown could cameo in it. That would be kind of cool if they did that. I don't know. What do you guys think it could be? It could be just another, maybe a re-release or something of Back to the Future in a box set of some kind. I don't know. But it's definitely got people's curiosities working there. A new Godzilla movie is in the works. New Godzilla movie coming from Japan's Toho. Okay, Toho. Did I say Soho in my in my digest? Yeah, we do a movie news digest that comes out early before this, guys. But yeah, Toho is going to be doing a new Godzilla movie, and it's not the Godzilla that we have here in North America. It's going to be probably a guy in suit, which is fine by me, because we haven't had a Godzilla movie from them since 2016, Shin Godzilla. But Toho dropped a teaser poster for the new movie across social media channels, including the release date. What's that? Godzilla, Toho. You got a G there for Godzilla, obviously, or Gojira. Well, November 3rd, 2023. Well, that's going to be a quick turnaround. Okay, new Godzilla movie from Toho. Well, that's kind of cool. Those have always been like people of this franchise, the fans. They know that there's a difference between the two for sure, right? Because Godzilla vs. Kong 2, the sequel, it's being worked on right now, right? That one is expected in March 15th. Ooh, the Ides of March 2024. So that's still 2 years away. So yeah, with that, new Godzilla movie coming next year, guys, from Toho. Okay, cool. Our Glass Viking says, with the musical in full flow, any Back to the Future project would be great for new generations. Must be close to the 50th anniversary. That came out in 85, right? 95. That's why 40 years, wouldn't it be? Yeah. 28 Days Later sequel. Okay. Would you be up for that? I think people wanted to see a 28 months later one, but we never got that because we had 28 Days Later and we had 28 weeks later. But a 28 Days Later sequel, closer than ever, Danny Boyle says. It feels like a very good time. It would be very topical because of it's the rage virus is what it was called, right? And how it spread could be very topical, maybe. He said here in a quote, I'd be very tempted to direct it. It feels like a very good time, actually. It's funny. I hadn't thought about it until you said it. And I remembered, bang, this script, which is again set in England, very much about England. Anyway, we'll see. Who knows? And he said this in an interview with NME. NME. And it remains to see if Cillian Murphy would be back. I'm sure he said the star would love to come back too. And why not? Yeah. That'd be kind of cool. You couldn't do the 28 months later, but maybe 28 years later? No, I don't know. But a sequel kind of dealing with what happened afterwards. And yeah, why not? Hey, if Danny Boyle's coming back, then yeah, you can bring something back. There's still more story there that you could develop for sure. Those ones were always a little bit more tragic, right? A little bit more tragic, and I kind of like that aspect of it. Jessica Chastain is one of my favorite actresses out there, and she's got a new project coming out on Showtime. It's a limited series with Michael Shannon, and they're going to be playing Tammy Wynette and George Jones. It's called George and Tammy Limited Series. And the trailer dropped for this yesterday, guys. It's going to be on Showtime December 4th. And it just kind of recounts how they, I guess, how they fell in love. And they wrote songs. Or did they fall in love or just became partners, right? I don't know really that much about them. But it's got Jessica Chastain, who looks great. And I do like Michael Shannon. He's our Zod, right? He is our Zod. And it looks like it just deals with their maybe financial problems. It looks like limited series. We know that Jessica Chastain can bring it for sure. December 4th on Showtime. Cool. And you hear some of the songs. I don't know if it's them singing or not, but sounds kind of cool. Looks cool. I'll be on board for this. Why not? Michael Shannon, Jessica Chastain. Cool. Also coming soon is Agatha, Coven of Chaos, and we got some more casting announcements from that too. Agatha, Coven of Chaos cast Ali An and Maria Dizia. Dizia? Okay. Well, they just joined the show. And the way that the casting news is coming out, I'm guessing that these girls, there's going to be the Coven, right? Agatha Harkness comes from WandaVision, and this is a spin-off from WandaVision, so we saw flashbacks in that where she killed her Coven. So maybe we'll have flashbacks and these are going to be cast members of the Coven. I got no problem with that, because let's see. Yeah, they seem to be announcing a lot more of the females here. We got a few male castings, but let's just go over to the IMDb, where it says the plot it's under wraps now. It's expected in 2023. They're going to start filming this soon. But yeah, this week we saw that Aubrey Plaza had joined the cast, which is really cool. And Joe Locke. Of course, Catherine Hahn is going to be back as Agatha. So that one is going to be cool. And if they do kind of like what happens to her after Westview, you know, how she got out of her spell, Wanda's spell, and then had flashbacks, I could see something like that. But if they did like that kind of format, then that would leave the door open for Elizabeth Olsen to come back, which would be cool in my book, because I do like her, and I do like Scarlet Witch, because she was my favorite character after WandaVision, even though that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness kind of poo-pooed all over her. Wasn't too happy about that. Didn't dig that. Oh well. Andy Serkis is in the headlines. We got a couple of big updates about him. He's got some quotes here that are kind of cool, but also kind of like, what the heck are you talking about, Andy? Andy Serkis reveals he'd like to direct a Star Wars project. Well, why not? And he's currently in Star Wars Andor right now, and it's a really cool episode, series arc that they've set up here. And let's read his quote here about directing Star Wars. Oh, I would love to direct a Star Wars project. Yeah, of course, it's the most incredible universe, and any director would love the opportunity to do that. Yeah, hopefully at some point. And of course, he's also, he worked in the sequel trilogy there, but so he would be familiar with the universe. I think that's pretty much a no-brainer that, yeah, anybody asked to do a Star Wars movie would do that, including people who didn't really like it, like say, well, I don't know, Rian Johnson maybe. But talking about Andor, guys, we just watched episode 9. We do full live watch-alongs for Andor, and that's on Wednesdays. Come join us. We got 3 more episodes left. It's a nice playlist for you guys to follow along, and it's really good quality Star Wars. And later on today, guys, in just about 45 minutes, we're watching Enola Holmes 2. That's going to be moved up to 1:15 today, guys. 1:15. We're going to be watching Enola Holmes 2. And then on Saturdays, we do the Horror Weekly Roundup, where we talk about all the horror movie news headlines that drop during the week. And of course, there that you know that we do movie news daily during the week that you're watching right now in both digest form and live, so you guys can interact with me and talk movie news, because that's what we do here, guys. You know that I got my nose down in it, right? So there you go. I'd love Andy to direct Acolyte. Daphne Keane is rumored to have been cast in it. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a few moments, too, in some of the entertainment headlines. Let's continue on with these Andy Serkis stories, because, yeah, he was a director. He has directed projects, right? He directed Venom 2. Why didn't he return for Venom 3? Well, guys, the skinny is this. We'll never know, but the PR, the press release of it would be like, well, because he says, I've got so many projects that I was just about to work on, like Animal Farm, for instance. We're just about to go into production with that. And then Venom came up. And so he's got his slate full, is what he's saying. He's got his slate full, but you know that Tom Hardy is going to also have control over what happens with that third Venom movie. And we talked about it last week that Kelly Marcel, who wrote the first 2 movies, is going to be directing the third one. And that's pretty much why Andy Serkis was not back. I don't think it was because of people hating Venom 2, even though they made mistakes. They shouldn't have killed Carnage. Huge mistake. I don't know what the heck you were doing with that. But we'll see how this kind of wraps up. I hope they wrap up Venom 3 great. But Andy Serkis, that's why he's not directing that. What else did Andy Serkis say? Well, he says the Batman 2 should have a Sandman crossover. Unbelievable. Now, guys, I do like the Sandman. And I do like the Matt Reeves Batman movie is still probably my second favorite movie of this year. If not the first, I still think it's probably the first, actually. It was so awesome. But what the heck is a crossover with Sandman? Matt Reeves has made it very clear that he prefers things to be a little bit more realistic. That's why he may not use things like Mr. Freeze or Clayface. But we'll have to see his angle. What did he say? What did Andy Serkis say here? He says, I don't know where we are with Alfred now. I don't know where that's going to go. I'm sure Matt Reeves is going to craft something incredible because he always does. He's another formidable storyteller that always goes for the heart. Villain-wise, I'd like to see Sandman. A little bit of a crossover. I think that would be interesting. Well, indeed, Andy. I think that would be an interesting crossover for sure, but I don't think that's very likely, just due to the nature of Sandman. And we saw earlier this week that Sandman has been greenlit for a season 2 and on Netflix. So I don't think with those two enterprises, with him going into different universes and mind escapes kind of thing, dealing with Satan and hell and stuff like that, I don't think that that's the direction that Matt Reeves would want to go. But it's definitely, I'll agree with Andy Serkis in the fact that it would be interesting. I just don't see how those two universes would work together. I wouldn't. Okay, let's get into some entertainment headlines, and that'll start to wrap us up a little bit for the show today. Elon Musk's Twitter must to make massive layoffs today. Yes, guys, it's getting lots of layoffs. So there are big changes happening at Twitter. Why am I talking about this on a movie news show? Because, guys, later on in just a few moments, we will be taking a look at the Twitterverse, where we'll take a look at some of the Twitter headlines. And it really depends right now for me as to if it becomes like the Wild West and it's just a complete, utter chaos over on Twitter. We'll figure something else out. We'll maybe go back to the Reddit pages to get our headlines that we're missing. Because Twitter, if it goes down the tubes, it goes down the tubes. I just can't be bothered with trolls flooding people's pages with nonsense. I can't. So, and it sucks that if you work at Twitter right now, then you're going to be impacted by those layoffs. I sympathize. This is sort of sports news, but guys, this is splashed all over the Hollywood Reporter for some reason. NBA's Kyrie Irving suspended by the Brooklyn Nets for at least 5 games without pay. What happened here? He reposted, I think it was like an anti-Semitic podcast, and then he never apologized for it. He said, well, do you want to retract that? Do you want to take that back? Do you want to say that you're sorry? And he said no. And it's just kind of like the thing with J.K. Rowling. This is where I stand. It's like, yeah, you can say those things. You can, by all means, have at it, Haas. You can have all of your bigotry or hatred out there for the world to see, but depending on what situations you're in, like he's already in a situation with a contract, they can suspend you for what you're going to say. Now, does that mean that he should be canceled? Did he kill anybody? No. But if you know anything about this NBA player, he's not the greatest teammate. His head is so big that I can't even. The less said about him, the better. I just, hey, it's splashed all over the Hollywood Reporter. It's our domain. So, and I keep my eye on basketball. I do. Some other headlines? This is kind of like not too much of a big one. I didn't even know how to weave this in, but Andor Season 2 directors confirmed by showrunner. So they've already locked up the slate of directors for Andor Season 2. And we know that that's not going to be for another couple of years, right? That they're going to be able to get to this. So some of them will be leaving. Some of them they'll bring in some new directors. It's just names that unless you're really nuanced in this business, not too much. Directors Toby Haynes, Suzanne White, and Benjamin Cannon will be replacing Metz, Ruza Palacios, sorry, Clement, Metz, and Ruzio Palacios will be replacing Haynes, White, and Caron. Okay, well, I don't even know their names. So, hey, and I follow these movie news all the time. So, there you go. What are some other big headlines? Keeping with the Star Wars thing, there was the headline that yes, indeed, that Daphne Keane was joining the Acolyte. This is up on Star Wars Net or whatever it's called. Okay, she's from Logan. Acolyte is a project that I'm very curious about because it's supposed to be about like a dark force user, and possibly Darth Plagueis, like one of his first apprentices, and it's supposed to be kind of like a dueling dark force user against a young Jedi Padawan, from what I understand. But mostly, the Acolyte refers to the dark force user, and if Daphne Keane joins that cast, reportedly, fine, okay. Guys, I'm somebody, and I'm not going to disappoint you. I shouldn't disappoint you about Logan. Okay. Yeah, I won't. Okay, there's that headline. As the Acolyte gets a little bit more exposure, then we'll talk about that. We will. Okay. Guys, what's opening up this weekend? What is in the headlines there for what's opening up this weekend? Because I want to know what's coming up. There's only one big major, well, that's not even a major release. It's called One Piece Film Red, and it's an anime film from Japan. And it's PG. That's the only thing opening up at my theater. Pray for the Devil, Black Adam, of course. Black Adam will have this week, and then next week, Wakanda Forever will take the #1 spot because that Red movie, what's it called? One Piece Film Red. Looking at the box office, guys, from last week. Yeah, I don't know how much that'll impact. Like, anime has cracked the top 5. It has. But let's see. Black Adam was 27 last week. It'll be about chopped in half again. So let's say 12, 13 million. Can this One Piece Red film make more than that? Maybe. I'd say that would come in second spot. So I still think Black Adam will be #1. Then this One Piece Red film, Ticket to Paradise. I think Pray for the Devil is going to drop off. I think Smile. And then maybe Pray for the Devil. Halloween needs to get out of there. It does. But then I think in wider release is going to be Banshees of Inisherin, which I'm going to try to go out and see this weekend because it's playing in the art house film near where I live. It really depends on my schedule. It really does. The Banshees of Inisherin. Maybe later tonight I'll have an opportunity to go out and see this film because I do want to see it. It's not a big haul. It's opened up internationally, but it's got Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, and I hear good things about Colin Farrell in this. So I'll hopefully see that and get a review out for you guys this weekend for sure. All right, guys, that was pretty cool. I know it's kind of a retread, and we'll have to see what the reception is because I really want the Movie News Digest to take off and kind of replace this because, well, I do like talking with you guys in the live chat. It's just sometimes it only gets like 7 views. And everything I learn about YouTube says you just got to keep on repeating the things that are working. And the things that are working right now are the shorts. People prefer these movie news things in shorts. There are other ways that we can do live streaming every day with doing the full live watch-alongs. So if we can kind of migrate the live streams to that and kind of sacrifice the actual kind of informality of these shows, then perhaps, okay. Or we'll do what we did today. We'll have the digest at 12. I'll come on for like 20 minutes afterwards or so and just kind of have kind of like a free-for-all of conversation. We can talk about any of these ones that anybody wants to join with me in the live chat for sure. And then we'll just go from there. Because then I want to get back into doing a lot more watch-alongs. That's what I want to do. Let's go on and take a look at the old Twitterverse, see if we missed any big headlines, any trailers that maybe had dropped. Florence Pugh for The Wonder. Okay. Scream 6 has been brought forward, and now will release on March 10th instead of March 31st. Okay, cool. So we get a couple weeks early for Scream 6. Cool, I'll have to remember that. Scream 6. Put that in the notes for tomorrow. Scream 6. Put that in for the horror weekly for sure. That's kind of cool. Olivia Colman will return in Heartstopper. Okay. The entire Hunger Games series is now available for limited time on Apple TV Plus. Is it? They're really trying to promote these things, guys. There's just too many streaming services. I can't afford all of them. I wish I could, and I wouldn't even watch them all. I don't have time to watch any of the shows that I like to watch. Like, between producing all this stuff and then getting time to go out for my walks and playing my guitar, doing the things that I like to do. There's just not enough time in the day. Florence Pugh has received a nomination for her performance in The Wonder. Okay, well, yeah, that's what I want to see. The Wonder, right? That's a period piece, like she's a doctor or something like that. Selena Gomez, My Mind in Me, opens up today. Yeah, we talked about that. So there's some nominations for the BIFA Awards. Okay, so that's probably going to pollute most of this page here. Seems a little bit early for the award season, doesn't it? Like, November just started. Enola Holmes 2 is now streaming. Yes, we know, and we're going to be watching it in 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Causeway. I wish I could see it. Harry Styles. Zoe Saldana performs a new original song titled Song Chord for Avatar: The Way of Water. Cool. Arglass Viking says in the live chat, Matt Reeves' Batman gave no indication of supernatural elements. It would be interesting how they could blend the two together. It would be cool. The only sort of thing that hinted was maybe that serum that he injected himself with, but he's come out and said that was adrenaline. It wasn't venom or anything like that. The Twitter staff appear to be united together. There has been a legal issue breached, I think, with the layoffs. Really? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. You fight for your job, right? You got to. I'm right with you. Too many streaming services. I cherry pick a few shows in each, but you're right. Not enough time to view content. Yeah, there's that too. You got to sit down, and if you're going to actually ingest it, instead of kind of putting it off onto the side and maybe playing video games on the side, that's not really watching it, guys. That's just kind of like, not in my books. But anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so some more performances here. Song? Okay. Selena Gomez, best song. And I did like that song that she released for it. It was kind of like a slower, it was like a piano and just her voice. And it was very nice. Ryan Reynolds. Zaslav said he'd like to make more Harry Potter. Yes. If we can do something with J.K. Rowling going forward. And it's going to trigger a lot of people out there. But yeah, it's the Superman Harry Potter headline. That's the one that everybody will be talking about today. That's the one everybody will be talking about today. And I think that's a good place to leave it. What do you guys think about this format? What do you guys think about doing the digest before? Because that one will get promoted a lot more across the different channels, across the different platforms. That's the one that'll get promoted. The live show will always be here just on YouTube, I think. I'm going to stop promoting it across platforms because I really want to make sure that people are interacting. They're aware of this. If you want to come in and talk and say your piece about some of these headlines, I capture most of them. Every now and then a small little one falls through the cracks. But it's a 24-hour news cycle, and we'll get to it. All right, guys, let's take a quick break here, and then we'll get ready for Enola Holmes 2, 1:15. I moved it up 15 minutes because, it's going to be just under 2 hours, right, for Enola Holmes 2. So I want to make sure we get enough time in for that. And I wish you the best weekend. Come join us tomorrow for some horror movie news too. And then I think hopefully I'll get my special secret project out by next afternoon for you guys. Yeah, I hope so. Okay, there you go, guys. See you in a few minutes for Enola Holmes. And if not, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys Monday for more movie news here on Mirror Domains.